Hey guys, salut mes amis och hallå gubbar. Even in the world of CS2 beta updates, there are still a lot of complaints and people crying over certain changes. Right now, the creme de la creme seems to be the new loadout system. So let's dive into that, see what the fuss is about, right after Skins Monkey. Skins Monkey is an automated service that lets you trade skins instantly for a fee, sign up now, and get up to $5 bonus. Simply add items from your inventory, then find skins that matches your current balance. Site offers live support 24/7. You can also top up your balance if you're missing a few dollars, and there's a lot of skins to choose from. Visit my link down below to get to Skins Monkey. Counter-Strike 2 has introduced this new loadout system, which seems to have split the fan base on the social medias. And the fact that Valve released a new loadout system in this fashion is such a classic Valve thing to do. You see, Valve has a long history of taking established concepts from other games and having that we can do it better mentality. Instead of allowing us to add custom weapon models to CSGO, which was possible in the older games, Valve said, let's introduce skins and make a huge market around it. Many other games offer level editors and custom map tools. Valve said, let's introduce a system for users to share their items and have them officially added to the game. How about 128-tick matchmaking? We've been asking for that for so many years. Valve said, nah, introducing sub-tick system. You get the point. So here we are. The new loadout system is heavily inspired by the community's thirst of not being able to use both the M4s, but it also screams, we can do it better. So what's really the main difference? To sum it up, the old system is less limiting. The new system is more limiting. The old system provided more in-game flexibility and adaptability, but the new system focuses more on pre-game strategy. Counter-Strike has always been attack FPS, so you could argue that because of the strategic nature of the game, it makes sense to move in a strategic direction. While the new loadout system limits what you can buy, you can't deny that it does add an element of pre-game planning and decision making. It requires you to carefully select your weapons based on how you play, which map you're playing, and maybe even how your enemies are playing. Honestly, that just makes the game even more tactical, which was sort of the case with the old system, but this is more emphasized onto that. And honestly, that just makes the game feel even more tactical and interesting, in my opinion. It also, as a bonus, adds a bit of personal touch to your loadout, since everyone is now going to have different builds. We might even see loadouts that are purely based on what skins you have. Another interesting point is if they add new weapons to the game. In CSGO, if a new weapon was introduced, anyone could buy it without limitations. Most times you would have to replace just one other weapon that you didn't really care about in the first place. In CS2, if a new weapon is introduced, you would have to consider if it's worth adding to your current loadout. This once again adds an extra layer of strategy since you have to decide if the new weapon would benefit your playstyle. In summary, the old system allowed immediate and pretty much unregulated use of the new weapons, but the new system encourages thoughtful integration. But of course, there are some obvious drawbacks that I want to point out with the new system. You could argue that for new players, this system makes it a lot harder for them to get into the game. And because of limitations, you can't really try most weapons at once. But honestly, it could be way more extreme than it is today. Which takes me to this. A lot of people are complaining about the limitations, but some of you are seriously reaching. In a CSGO match, you can choose between 5 pistols, 10 mid-tier weapons, and 6 rifles. So really, the biggest difference here is the amount of mid-tier weapons you can use in CS2. But you gotta ask yourself, are you really going to use all those 10 mid-tier weapons in one game? At the very least, I would say people have 2 favorite shotguns, 2 different SMGs for close and long range, maybe a machine gun just for trolling, and that's 5 mid-tier weapons right there. So really, what else do you need? And remember, you have 2 separate loadouts for both sides. Having 5 per category still allows for a great number of possibilities with your loadout. Imagine if Valve said that you could only use 3 per category. That would feel very limiting. But 5? There's little reason to complain, and I think people are overreacting. Plus, limiting the number of weapons to 5 per category comes with another side benefit that a lot of you are going to miss and not a lot of people talk about. Having 5 across the board simplifies weapon selection and makes overall navigation a whole lot better. This will speed up buying once you're used to it and makes the controls more accessible to new players. Also, since the buy menu is now just one single page, everything fits nicely inside. It's not a strong argument to praise the new system, but it's still a nice quality of life improvement. You can tell that Valve planned very carefully and knew what they were doing with this system. But hold on just a minute there, partner. That doesn't mean it's finished. Let's remember that this is still in beta. This means Valve will listen to player feedback, observe how their changes play out, and then adjust accordingly. While the new loadout system might seem a bit jarring or restrictive, it's important to remember that may not be its final form. But honestly, the way it works today right now, I'm a huge fan of it. It's fresh, it's interesting, and it adds a new element of pre-game planning and decision making. I think it suits Counter-Strike very well. Counter-Strike has always been about careful planning, and this just adds to it very nicely. Really, the only thing missing for me right now is being able to match the color of the buy menu with the color of your HUD. I even made a tweet about this. I just think that would be dope. But what are your thoughts? Do you prefer the old system anyway? Did I forget to mention something important? Let me know down below. Peace.